Because we're live. How's it going today? Like I said, title of the show today is Changes. Well, how appropriate when I started doing this damn experiment here in the shop. Taking the motor apart, was going to do some upgrades. Turns out it's fucked. So there you go, YouTube banned me because of the language restricting right off the bat. This bearing right here, I didn't realize it at first, has actually walked in on me. And so these cases are no good. So the problem with that was trying to find a repair and all that sort of stuff. Timelines, cost factor, blah, blah, blah. Turns out probably wasn't really worth it. So what I ended up doing was buying another motor, used one out of a wreck from a salvage yard. So it's sitting on the floor over there. We're not going to get the whole thing done today. We'll be lucky we get this thing out of here today. But that's the plan. Just kind of shoot the breeze while I do a little work on this and kind of continue on from where we left off with that. Enjoying life and talking about shit and the stuff that we go through. I have no idea if this is, I'm not sure if I can raise this up or not. It's pretty low. Yeah. Oh, you can see what I'm actually working on. Nobody gives a crap looking at me when we're working on stuff. So got to do that. So I got to pull things off and start yanking and grabbing and all that sort of crap. So there is no turbo, Steph. So I can read some of the comments, but not all of them. Smart ass. This thing's not turbocharged, naturally aspirated. That's the way Harleys go. Let's crank that up a little bit. There we go. You can kind of see my head, my talking head. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rip this thing out of here, and it's still down from that point. The exhaust is still off. Part of the primary is off when we were doing the inspection on the motor and whatnot. Blah blah blah. The rest of the stuff I've had fixed. It's good to go. Got some new paint, a little bit of stuff like that, but it's starting to warm up and melt. So I'm getting anxious because it's supposed to be 14 here next week. Not going to probably ride next week, a little bit early in the year, but I figure 2 weeks or so, this bad boy's got to be running within a week because in 2 weeks I'll be riding. So, but I'm looking at about 3 hours. Yeah, roughly 3 hours work to pull this thing out, throw the other one in. So anyhow, with that, I'm going to get at it. I'm not going to drag the camera around from side to side. Blah, blah, blah. I guess I could. My cord's untangled. I had to, couldn't find my one cord for this, so not sure if I've got everything set up. I don't know how well the audio is picking me up, but anyhow, this is the show tonight. This is how it is. This is live from the shop and doing crap, and got the old phone to take pictures of everything before we take it apart, so I can remember how to put it back together. Kind of just kidding. I remember how to put them together. I've got a manual and all that stuff, but sometimes it's good to have pictures of wire routing and stuff like that before we do what we do. So with that, I'm going to throw the camera to the other side and we're going to go pull the primary off of this thing. So we get some fun camera shots as things get hauled around from side to side on a bike while we do some work. So look at the ceiling for a second. All right. Get a cord over here. Working on stuff. So yeah, what can we see? I have no idea if I'm going to accidentally unplug cords. So if I do and whatnot, lose some camera or something, we'll see. But anyhow, how's it going tonight? So like I say, the subject of tonight's show is changes. You know, the constants in life. Everybody says death and taxes. The other one is change. Nothing will ever stay the same. Good times will pass, and so will bad times. That's just the way things go. And all right. Oh, better save that. That gasket is actually, believe it or not, reusable, so I don't want to damage that. Put that off to the side. Primary chain pulled out of here. So I've got to pull the clutch, pull the stator, because the new / used motor didn't come with the stator. So we gotta pull all that. Fun and games. So much fun. I love it, actually. ironically. This is metric. Lovely. I got my metric stuff here. I do have some. Not bad. So, definitely too big. That's the guy. Right there. Things are still a mess from when I took this thing apart. Yeah, it's actually just been sitting here the entire time. Since I can't run the lock on this thing, it's going to be do a little fun. But anyhow, changes. So part of that is I'm actually looking at taking a course. The unfortunate part with the course is it runs for the next 8 weeks on Wednesday night, right through showtime. So since this thing is just kind of a fun and hobby and I enjoy doing it and spending time with you guys and blah, 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 it doesn't make me anything. So in all reality, if I'm going to take this course to learn some stuff that I'm not very good at and want to become more proficient at, starting next week, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know if you guys actually enjoy this thing enough. If there's another night of the week that works, I was thinking of maybe shifting it to Tuesdays. Do me a favor, drop in the comments. I'll check them afterwards because hands are full of oil. I ain't touching the computer now, but I'll check them afterwards. If Tuesday night works for you guys, maybe I'll start doing this on Tuesdays so I can attend that course. It's 3 hours, 3.5 hours every Wednesday for the next 8 weeks. So, you know, life goes on, changes. Got to do what we got to do to get ahead in life and better ourselves. And I think that's the next step that I have to do for myself. But that's just the way the scheduling works. Is it interferes with this. And like I said, this thing doesn't make me any money. It's just a hobby and it's fun, and I enjoy spending time with you guys. But at the end of the day, I got bills to pay and I got to make a living and all that kind of crap. So that comes first, which means this goes on the back burner. So I don't know if that kind of works or what you guys' thoughts are on that. Or maybe I just suspend the show for 8 weeks, but I don't know how that'll work. Kind of lose not like I got a ton of momentum, but I'll lose the momentum that I've got so far. That's not a great alternative either. So I'm thinking the best thing is, like I said, to maybe do this on Tuesdays, you know, because after the class on Wednesday would be pretty late, be like 10 o'clock Eastern before I started. So since most people are on, the largest percent of the population is on Easter time, that doesn't really work very well. So, all right. The old snap ring pop clutch off. I thought I had the snap ring pliers over here. Why do I not see them? I don't. So I'm going to run grab snap ring pliers. I'll be right back. Hopefully the clutch doesn't pull apart while I do that. So, and like I said before last week about talking about doing different things and changes and just shaking this thing up a little bit, maybe going a different direction. Like I said, I'm more focused on business and might focus everything in life, including the show and stuff, in that direction, more in that direction going forward. I think that's going to stay. Push rod out of there. Oh, what the hell size is that silly socket? This is that odd size. I forget what that one is. Not that one. Not that one. I know I have it over here because I had to pull something else out that was that size. Or I thought I did. Maybe I don't. I have to go grab that. Puzzle, that guy's 1 1/8 inches. All right. Now this could be fun without having the lock in here. No, it's not an inch and an eighth. Son of a bitch. Bigger than what I got. Inch and a quarter. Geez, now I'm not 100% sure. Oh, there we go. That does work. I know I've taken these off before. And I know what you're thinking. I'm going the wrong way, but I'm actually not. These are actually a reverse thread. Not gonna get her with that. Have I got the air gun over here? So I don't know what you guys' thoughts are. I think this is going to be fun because there we go. And just like that. Clutch is off. That on there. Fun and games. This is so much fun. So anyhow, speaking of changes, another ironic development while I was picking up the parts for this, the used parts. It's actually a guy I've dealt with before in the past, back when I was building bikes and racing bikes, stuff like that. Is where I got the motor from. He helped me source it, and he's actually looking at retiring. He told me I should buy him out. So I kind of been bouncing that idea around of buying a motorcycle salvage parts business. I don't know, not sure. That's not exactly what I want to do, but I do like motorcycles and playing with them, so it might be kind of fun. And I was wondering about that. Be kind of a neat way to pivot this channel and go that direction. Be tearing bikes apart on a regular basis. Be able to kind of show all that. Spin the channel around that direction. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on something like that? Literally just looking for ideas. Looking at the business, it does fairly well. And I think there's a lot of room for growth in it. He doesn't. I have a different philosophy of the way I would run it compared to the way he runs it. And I think I could grow it quite a bit based on some things that he's not doing that would definitely increase its value, in my opinion. So it's just something to consider. I've added some numbers around, looked at it, talked to some people, but figured I'd ask you guys what your thoughts were. Would that be kind of a fun way to go? Tearing things apart for fun on the show, because hey, that way I could kind of do I could do daily or a couple times a week or something like that, taking stuff apart, inspecting parts, finding out if they're good to sell, not all that sort of stuff. Different way to pivot the business or the channel. Maybe use the channel to help grow the business and the business to help grow the channel kind of at the same time. Bit of fun, you know, dealing with crashes and wrecks and looking at all the stuff that's damaged and seeing what's still usable and what's not. I actually know some people in the auto wrecking business, and they do very, very well at it. So it's a much larger market, of course, than motorcycles is, but the idea, they also have a much bigger operation, and that is not something I want to do. A small one that I could build up and get it up and running smoothly and hire somebody to actually do the work for me might be kind of a decent little business. What do I got going on here? Oh, still got the bolts of the starter. Had that all loosened off from before. It's not actually removed out yet. Gotta love these bolts where you can't get at them nicely. Hold your tongue the right way. Cross your left nut. All that sort of stuff. And with that, that's out. All right. And with that, so this will be fun. I've never actually pulled one of these twin cam motors out. I've had these, you guys know from last time, I got motors sitting on the bench over here from before. One out of my street bike. I got a couple spare motors in the cupboard out of the drag bike. A couple spare transmissions and stuff like that. All kinds of. Probably got enough stuff here in the shop to actually build 2 bikes. Yeah, with leftover parts almost, because I'm a collector of junk. Not really. You acquire things and they have value. You don't want to throw them away, so you don't. You end up with a bunch of stuff. Joys of a hobby. That's off. That's off. And like that. Just like that. Your primary is off. Walk around, put this over there. Oh, belt looks good. That's a good thing. All right. These bolts go in the inner over there. So to pull this out, I got to do the front mounts here. But these back ones hold in the transmission, so I'm gonna have to jack all of this up so it doesn't just collapse and fall when I go to do it, because that will be no fun. And like I said, for those that are learning to fix stuff or don't know about it, a good thing to do is to take all your bolts, put them in Ziploc bags, label the bags where they go, or just put them back in where they go so you don't forget. Those 2 out of the starter were in there, so I'll just leave it sitting in there, because this is not going to be very long. I'm going to have this out this week, get everything cleaned up, and I might even shove the motor back in. I don't know if I'll do it on the weekend or when. Just kind of depends. I'm not entirely sure if I'll film that or not. I got a few things going on here right now, so it just sort of depends on the timing. Oh, come on. Always want to be careful with those. You don't knock the magnets off of them. Or the stator. The unfortunate part is those bolts can't be reused, so got to get a new set of those just for this. Such is life. These are the fun little Torx guys. That one. That one. So I don't know. I can't really. We got any comments in here? Oh, just guys, yakety yakety. Don't even know. Don't even know if anybody's watching my horse shit. Just one of those things. I've got, like I said, short amount of time. Was talking about what to do. Just general things in life. Like I said, changes. We all go through them. Well, this is going to be cute. So I changed this. It's got the kilometers on it. 71,000 was when it was put in, but the new motor only has 30,000 kilometers. So I'm going to have to kind of figure that out, mark out the dates. That's something that I always do. Mark everything when I put it in. And that way I kind of know there's no question when it was done. So if it fails, I need warranty or whatever, I know the date of when it was put in. Okay, so that's free. This sensor's got to come out of here. I don't know if I'm replacing that or not. What do I got here? That is this side up here. Oh, it's in there. Okay, I can move that out. So that sensor down below. And that one goes in. I'll leave that for now. That bar's going to come off. Probably best to pull the filter. Probably best to just pull this stuff out of the way. Always easier just to move stuff out of the way than just to try and work around it. Sometimes it seems like you're doing stuff unnecessarily. Trust me when I tell you, it will just save you a lifetime of hassle down the road, and you're just better off to do it in the first place. Oh, Jesus. Was those silly two? I got that guy. It is that one there. Suspecting this is going to be tight as hell. Since it is the motor frame bolt, bolted in. Our tie rod to adjust the alignment. Oh yeah, I got to do that. Yay. It probably won't line up exactly the same. Which sucks because this thing was straight as hell. I used to, I think I actually posted a video of me riding this thing, no hands on the handlebars on the highway on cruise control because it rode so straight. So I will have to reset all of that again. Fun and games. So there we go. It kind of is in the way. Get that down. We'll pull that off. Oh shit, that's not going to come out like that. Okay, I definitely have to pull that stuff. Goody. We got to take more things apart because, you know, taking stuff apart is fun. Or at least it's supposed to be fun. They tell me this is fun, so I keep doing it all the time. So it must be fun. I actually quite enjoy it. Not sure I want to do it for a living, but actually I know I don't. That's why I don't fix other people's stuff. I'm not a mechanic for a reason. I like working on my own stuff, but I don't like working on other people's stuff. I've played that game in the past. You know, people have unrealistic expectations and all that kind of crap, and I just don't enjoy that game, so I don't play it. It's just easier. Or you get guys want to get things apart to find something wrong, and they want a shortcut, which I understand. Sometimes you don't have the money to do what you need to do, but there's also doing it the right way and wasting your time. So I just don't like doing that. So I don't. That's my own personal take on it. Everybody's got their own. And to each your own. Oh, that's going to be fun. All right. oil cool off out of the way. Gonna have to pull that filter. Just going to be the easiest way. Which, great. Now I get to make a mess. So we'll throw some rags down here. Maybe can and should. Go grab my cleaner. There we go. I don't know if we can see stuff. I don't know what you can see on here. I don't have a camera guy. I need a volunteer to come out here to Alberta, be a cameraman. Whoop. That guy pulled off. I actually have to save him, which might be kind of interesting to some of you guys, but yeah, that's actually, I think it's AR-Tech or AirTech or something like that. I can't remember exactly the brand name on it. Used these before in racing applications. It's actually a reusable filter. So you do that, you take the guts of the oil filter and you clean it, you put it back together, and you actually reuse that oil filter. I know that might seem strange and counterintuitive, but these are a higher degree of filtering, and with the housing and the fins on it, they actually add cooling. Allows you to run a little bit more hot rod, more horsepower, because, you know, we're like Tim the Toolman Taylor here, you know, had to make more power. So I rewired it, or in this case, hot rodded it. Do what you got to do, because it's more fun that way. It just is. All right, what have I got? This and this. Hey, ain't this fun? Having to take stuff off, get it out of the way just to put it back on afterwards. Hope the hell I don't scratch my paint since I just had my front fender painted, because I wrecked a couple things here last summer and just time. So I had a few things need to be painted. So I had a few things painted, cleaned it up. I'm gonna run around the other side and be right back. Actually got a bunch of stuff painted, so kind of get her all put together. I will give you the whole grand tour, show you what all was done. A couple things I think were pretty cool. Let's see how it, I haven't even had it all together yet, all done. So kind of curious to see how it's gonna look. I was pretty happy with what I did last time when I did part of this. Didn't have to paint everything, so I didn't. And then this time I did, because I wanted it done. So I did. What have I got here? Gotta love that when you find something broken that's not where it's supposed to be. I don't know what the hell that is or where it came from. So anyhow, that gets that stuff out of the way. Now, how in the hell, this is a different cooler than I've ever ran. How does that work? That looks like this great big monster Allen head in there. Oh yeah, gotta love playing in oil and the muck and truck. Not that size. There we go. It is exactly what it is. All right. Look at that. All right. That's kind of a nifty little deal. All right. And just like that. Oil cooler is removed. Makes for a little more room for that stuff. Fun. That's not a very good way. There we go. That guy pulled out. This will be the cleanest I'll get it up here now. This thing always leaks a little bit of oil when I do an oil change. It makes a mess up here. Constantly soaking it in brake clean and degreaser to get this out of here. Now I'll actually be able to get it all nicely clean, wiped out for the first oil change anyway. And then life will take over. Because at the end of the day, this is a riding bike, not a show bike. So, and I do some riding, which is why we had to take this thing apart in the first place and found a problem. Because it's got 100 and some thousand on it, which is quite a bit for a bike of this type. So put that stuff there so I know where it goes. All this fun stuff. All right. So now I can get this out of here. This guy off there. Give that a pull up. And some of this fun and games. I remember when I had to change this damn thing. This thing was a pain in the butt. A royal pain in the butt. What did I do now? Huh. Let's see. But I definitely got to get this thing running in a couple of weeks because I've got a ride to go for a friend. We've got planned. Oh, that's no good. All right, I'm gonna go grab a. Grab a few pairs of pliers because we don't know which ones we're gonna need. I'm thinking this guy here. No. No, no, and no. Why? here we go. Get some movement there. There we go. And just like that, we are free. And ain't that different. Oh, I forgot that's a one-sided clip. That in there. This guy through. Pull him out. And he's still all in good shape, so that will definitely go back in. There we go. So with that, I got to pull these two, pull that top motor mount off. And then this side is done. There's that. And this one here, and this one here. I almost don't even know why they put this one on here anymore. It used to be on the old bikes, my other bike. This is actually mounts to the frame. On these things, it doesn't. It just connects the head to the head. And I know they don't need to be stabilized because we never ran these on the drag bikes. And they stayed together good enough. I blew the heads right off that thing and they stayed together even without this bracket. So I know it's not necessary for that. But they do what they do for their reasons. It holds the horn. Gives it a place to mount that, I guess. Kind of covers up this side. Hey, that's what it is. Mostly decoration. Yeah, I guess so. That side is kind of ugly if I don't put that there. Lock it off. Oh, well. And one more. We're out. So, oh, we got a plug here for a sensor connected with this as well. Goody. On back, and here we go. Where? There it is. There we go. Hold that up out of the way. Fuel line is there. Everything here is clear. All right. Everything on this side of the motor, other than the actual motor bolts, is done and good. So, might even get this thing out of here in a decent time. I have no idea what time it is. Oh, look at that. 40 minutes. I'm getting faster at pulling these primaries and stuff than I used to be. A little bit of practice goes a long way. So 1, 2, what are these guys? Welded on? I think it is. And I get that. All right. All right. And I get that guy in there. Nope. I don't have everything over here I should have. Oh well, we're just playing. Yeehaw! Actually, I guess maybe I should do that. Put that guy out of the way. Don't need to wreck stuff. Oh yeah. Didn't show you guys that stuff. So got the other motor apart. Didn't even know it because everything was working right. But I take the oil pump apart. That gear is fine. However, not all of them are. So this side is our scavenge side. That one is fine. But we get in here, our inside drive gear is good. But the outside gear, it's magically in two pieces. But luckily held together and didn't grenade and blow up. So I got a little bit lucky with this thing in the way that I decided to take it apart and check things while I was at it, because I was at the point of literally grenading this motor and didn't even realize it. It was running fine right up until this point. So these are the wonderful things you find when you take stuff apart. You know, that's when you learn how close to failure it was. And I don't know if it'll show or not on the camera. Yeah, there it is right there. I don't know if it shows, but this gear was also cracked. Hadn't broke on the other side yet, but so this thing was literally like hours away from failure and didn't even know it. So I kind of got lucky by pulling this damn thing apart when I pulled it apart. So score one for the win on that. It didn't go kaboom, and I'll actually be able to salvage most of this motor for parts. So might even be able to take this thing and hot rod it. Might do that yet too. Don't know. Depends what happens. Once I got it out, get the other one switched. Maybe through the summer, whatever. Maybe that'll become an episode or two. Might be recorded once. Might tear this thing apart and see if it's actually salvageable, rebuildable, if it's worthwhile. Why is that not coming out? There's nothing there. That makes no sense. Oh, there is. That's why. Gonna be cranking on that bolt for a long damn time before it comes out. That was real bright. I had the 9/16 wrench. Where to put it? 5/8. What the hell? I did just have it. I had it to pull this off. Right here. Where did it go? Yeah. 5/8. There it is right there. We'll try this one. All right. That makes sense. Now it's going a lot easier. It felt like it was a welded nut down there. But it wasn't. So gotta love oily hands. Things go flying. Hey, have you guys heard from Jimmy lately? I haven't heard from him in a little bit. He's not that far away from me. Would have actually been cool to have him here and maybe running the camera for me when we did this. Maybe I could have had a beer with the guy while I was doing this, which is always more fun when you're working on something, having a beer or whiskey. Or better than taking this thing apart in the parking lot like I did last year. So, all right. There's the one. And bottom. There we go. Ah, it sucks. Getting oil and grease stains all over fresh paint. Gotta hate it when you do that. Gotta hate it when you do that. That's just all there is to it. And how they put that extension. There it is. We can go underneath. Come up on them that way. All right, I was wrong. I can't come up at them that way. So we're just down to a pain in the butt. 1 or 2 clicks at a time is what it is. Come on. Where are you? There you go. Don't know if I can pull it out with this front bracket on or not, so I'm gonna remove it. Make life maybe easier. Maybe I'm doing something I don't need to do. But anyway, yeah, it's gotta get done. Got my shorts and meat down here. Gotta have that here. I don't. Okay. I'll use this one here instead. Get in there. Get in there. There we go. That way. Oh, I guess I might have to. I'm going to go to give this thing a pull out. Motor weighs apparently like 285 pounds is what these weight. You know, that other one is pretty damn heavy. This one shouldn't be quite as bad because it's got some stuff taken off of it, but not like a ton. Yicky gooey. Fun and games. All right. Goody. Clean it all up. All right, that's everything from this side, other than these 2 bolts, which will actually only be pulled when we go to pull the motor right out. For the time being, that's that. We're going to toss the camera back over to the other side. I have no idea if anybody's even kicking around still watching. I'll move this over. That way. Bring this. And set it back down. What we got? What we got? Really? People are actually watching my hair shit. My horse shit. Cool. Thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate it. All right. So this is off. This is off. I'm going to pull this sensor because this one got broke on the other motor when they took it out. So I don't want to wreck that because I don't have a spare one now, since that is officially gone on the other motor, the new one. And with that, damn, I actually think that is it. We're down to the jack up the transmission. It's 4 volts on the back end and actually pull this thing. Wouldn't that be amazing? 9/16. Okay, that's a half inch. All right, so with that, I'm going to need I will grab the big old water pump pliers. And just like that, she's out. Put that down there. Little oil pressure switch, or oil pressure sensor. Setting unit. No more wires connected. These are free. Yep. Everything here on the fuel and the intake system is undone. All right. I literally am down to jacking the transmission up to hold it, pull those 4 bolts, and then grunt like a son of a bitch and pull that motor out of here. We are there. All right. I need a little piece of wood for that. I didn't realize that. Oh, I have one. All right. I'm such a guy. I don't have a piece of wood, but of course got weights, so I'll use a couple of little weights on there. Jack that up. Get just a little tension on that. And And we got 1/16, 8. Do I have it? No, I don't. Go grab that. All right, it is over there. Or should be. That makes no sense. Where did it go? Somewhere here in the mess. 11/16, 8. No such guy, obvious. All right, the hell with it. That's 9/16. Actually, I know I had that because I needed that to take those rocker covers off. So I know I used it for that. So I know it's around here somewhere. This is going to make a bloody mess when I do this too. You can see that. Because the way they've done these new ones, oh yeah, shit, check that out. The way they've done these new ones, they actually flow through the engine into the transmission, and the lines are internal in the transmission to the oil pan. So, fun and games, it isn't. Mind you, it's sat here open long enough, maybe it's drained most of its oil out. It won't be quite so bad. It won't be a huge mess, but that's what rags are for. Pulling a motor out of something is always going to make a mess of some kind. That's just a fact. Get used to that. All right. All right. So I started the other two bolts on the other side. I'm not moving the camera back and forth for two bolts. It's pretty much pointless. So I'll get this one out. The other two are already cracked loose. And we'll go and pull those two. And then we'll come back around here and we will try and Herculean lift this damn thing out of here. And with any luck, we'll actually have this out tonight. And comes some monkey stuff. Because like I said, I'm going to take the oil pan off, which is on the bottom of the transmission. But I've got the jack there holding that up so that it doesn't fall down. Because the motor and transmission are tied together on these things through to the swing arm. It's not actually mounted to the frame. It's rubber mounted. Rubber isolated. So I have to support the transmission so it doesn't drop. And when that's done, the motor's out. And I'll put a couple bolts through here. Use a strap to hold the transmission up so I can pull the jack out. Then I can pull the oil pan and take that off and clean that. It probably doesn't necessarily need it because it's not like that other motor blew up. There was no metal filings in the engine cases when we pulled those out. There was none in the oil pan when we pulled the plug out of that. But when you're changing motors and everything's apart, this is the easy time to pull the oil pan because trying to pull that oil pan out when the motor is in, the only way you can do it is you actually have to pull the swing arm and drop the back. I'm not sure you have to pull the swing arm. You have to pull the back tire for sure. I think you might have to pull the swing arm. It doesn't look like it. Maybe it's just pull the back wheel and pull the oil pan out the back. It's a pain in the butt because there's a cross member goes underneath of the frame right where the oil pan is. So you can't just pull the oil pan and drop it down. With the motor in, it can't go forward. With the wheel on, it can't go backwards. So it's it's something you do when you have the opportunity to do it, not leave it until you absolutely have to, because then all of a sudden you're adding a shitload of time to the job. Right now, I'm adding just a little wee bit of time to pull that out and clean it, making sure that it's all nice and clean for a new-ish to me engine anyways. So I'm losing like 80-some thousand kilometers between the two motors. So I'm losing over 50,000 miles by going to this used motor. So with any luck, it'll be good. It is the 103 high output and actually has the newer style, which Harley liquid cooled the heads on them. None of the rest of the engine. The rest of the engine is air cooled. But this being the older version is not liquid cooled. So kind of running a science experiment here of, will this thing actually work without liquid cooled running through the heads? Because I'm not changing all of that. Looking for a set of used heads for 103. They're not hard to find. I'll find a pair eventually. Probably, if all goes well and it doesn't blow up this summer, I'll change them next winter. And that way I know I've got the good ones on. I will have the time to port them, polish them, because, you know, more power is always more better. Because we're like Tim the Toolman Taylor here. We rewired it for more power because we can. All right. So it's going to get a little noisy for a second, so I want to turn down your volume. I'm going to dump the air in the lift so that it comes down some. Because once I pull the weight of the bike out, that airlift is going to want to jump. All right. I might have to take that off. Might be better to take that off. Give myself a little bit more room. So that and that and that. This is yes. Pull this front motor mount out of here. And like that, it's just curved loose. All right. One more bolt and out she comes. All right, that's it. Couple finger turns, and this guy's done. Come on, come on. Oh, come on, you piece of crap. So close. But close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. we go. Front motor mount is out. And that's it. She's clear. Now we just wrap our arms around it. Give it a big old hug. And out she comes. All right. And just like that, we got a big gaping hole in the bike where the motor is supposed to be. And sitting down over there by the exercise bike, that is the new / used motor that's going to go in there. So, kind of take a look. I was talking about where the oil runs through into the oil pan on the transmission. All this fun stuff. Everything looks good. No marks or Mars. Right on. Well, with that, our big change has begun. So we're going to go from 96 inches to 103. I'm going to pick up. That's not a huge amount of power. A little bit. I think it's like 10, 12 horse, something like that. Not really a big deal. A little more torque, which is good. Not going to get cams in like I was hoping to. Don't know where that O-ring come from. Doesn't matter. And you tell me this gasket can be reused, but considering how much work it takes to change the damn thing, and it's $16, this gasket will not be reused. This gasket will get thrown into the, these are infused with an O-ring. Actually, a pretty decent quality gasket. I'll hang on to it for one of those days in the future when I'm telling myself one day in the future on a weekend when I can't get parts, I'm going to need it. So I'll keep it in my box for about 12 years. Then I'll get mad one day and throw it away. So for 12 years, it's just going to sit in my box and end up in the way, blah, blah, blah. Probably will never use it, but and again, I guess if I was smart for $16, buy a damn spare. Have a new spare kicking around in the box. But yeah. So that's that. Let's set that up over there. Lift that up. So that's it for changes. So I don't know if you guys have dropped anything in the comments. Like I said, I take that, looking at taking that course. So that means my next 8 Wednesdays are kind of tied up for this. So if you guys agree or think that Tuesday is a good day, do me a favor, throw that in the chat and let me know. Or if that doesn't work, then like I said, I might just hiatus the thing for the 8 weeks of the course, get that done and taken care of, and go and learn myself something new and come back after that. But I mean, 8 weeks in, God, by then it'll be riding season and I'll have this thing going. Which, by the way, if I do decide to, or when I go to throw the motor in this thing and I get it going, I'll actually, I won't know when I'll do that. I'll make an announcement or something on the channel. I have no idea. Facebook, blah, 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 that I'm going to do it. And when I get the motor actually put in, or maybe when I put the motor in, I'll do another live. I just don't know what day it'll be. It's not going to be my regular scheduled day, obviously. Maybe I'll do a live or record it, one of the two. Probably do a live. I don't want to edit all of this because this is a lot of footage to edit. And I'll actually do a live fire of the new motor in this thing. So, and then I'll mount up the GoPros and maybe then I'll do a little, throw up a recorded video of GoPro footage for the first ride on it. We'll see. Hopefully I don't get too crazy and a little more power, maybe spin a tire, do a burnout. God forbid, new motor, more fun. Hate to say it. I'll do my best to make sure I don't crash it. But anyhow, that's this week's episode. Like I said, changes are coming. I just don't know. Like I've mentioned before, thinking about taking this thing in a different direction because it's not growing at the rate that I'm doing things. Like I said, it's kind of a hobby, more fun. It doesn't really matter to me whether it grows a ton or not, but I got to do what I got to do for the next little bit and to learn stuff for myself, to better myself, get further ahead in my career, my business, all of that. So that's going to be my focus. Like I said, I haven't looked at the comments. Hands are too dirty and oily. I'm not touching the computer right now, so I've got the mouse sitting on the end thing to end where I don't have to hardly touch it. But that's the plan. I don't even know what time it is. What are we at here? 7:15. Okay, so I've gone a little over an hour, which is about typical of what I do. So anyhow, yeah, that's what I did. I ended up. So just to show you, I painted all the controls and stuff on the hand grips and whatnot this year. I had to replace my lowers because one of them got damaged when I had a little incident last summer. Yes, I actually rear-ended a Suburban and I rode away. So those got painted and I did something different. They're painted on the inside, which they never are from the factory. I did this as well. The floorboards got painted to match. And then the fairings that go on here or whatever bike, they're all painted to match. So at this point, I pretty much painted everything on this thing now that can be painted besides the frame. And that would require completely stripping and gutting this thing. I'd have known I've gone this far, I might have thought about it, but probably not. That's a shitload of work. I've done that. Taking a bike down. Actually, my other bike is sitting over in the corner and it's right down to the frame. That's where the motor for that one over there sitting on the shelf, that's the motor out of my other bike. And the transmission is in the cupboard. That one got torn down to do a bit of a custom job refit because I put a much bigger motor in that one. That thing is crazy. But hopefully this year or next winter, I'll get that thing put back together. That's the plan. That's what I'm hoping for. Get that one back out and play with it again. And then have to make decisions. What bike am I going to ride today? It's a good decision to have to make. Anyhow, that's kind of the show for today. I'm going to clean up a little bit, start the after show. I don't know if I'm going to go sit upstairs or I'm going to maybe do it from down here live and just stay dirty or whatever. Hang out, kind of clean up because, good God, things are a mess in here. In all reality, if I would have had this gasket and I wasn't going to clean out that oil pan, I could actually start shoving that other motor back in. But like I said, I'm not going that far tonight. I've done what I've done. It's ready to go. I got a big hole where I never expected to have one. But anyhow, that's what I got for tonight's show. So anyhow, like I say, I'll check the comments. Do me a favor, drop them in there. What do you think? Should I do this on Tuesdays or leave me a comment in the channel itself or something like that? And we'll go from there. And with that, I'm going to call it a night on here, shut it down. And like I said, open up the after show for those there things. So do me a favor, smash the like buttons, subscribe, all that crap that I always forget to say, which is probably part of the reason why I don't really grow. I don't care. This is fun. I do this for the fun of it, is what it is. And with that, going to call it a night and go hang out with my boys, talk some shit. Mind you, I've already used potty language right off the bat. So this one will be demonetized, but I'm not monetized anyway, so who really cares? They'll just suppress it in the algorithm, is what it is. Anyhow, that's what I got for tonight. I'm popping off, heading over to chat with the boys, clean up a little bit of stuff, and yada, yada, yada. So if you're in my group, we'll see you over there. If you're not, think about joining it. Get a hold of me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm available on those. Email through the channel, whatever. If you want to join a community, and I'll get you set up, and we'll go from there. Anyhow, that's what I got for tonight. I'm signing off. Heading over to the after show. We will talk with you guys later. Have a good night. And